Hello and welcome to the site of my YouTube channel. My name is Ray, and in this video we're going to have another look at the PCF8574. Now, I covered this in MyRobotLab part 9 in December last year, and there's been a few updates to it since then, so I'm going to recover that service now. So I have a Arduino Nano connected to my Windows PC, and I've connected the I2C bus to this, and let me just make that a little bit bigger for you. This PCF8574. Now, on this PCF8574 I've connected this RGB LED. It's got a red, a blue and a green LED built into it, and they are connected to P0 through P2, and then I've connected the anode up to the VCC line. I've also got this spare ground wire that I can use to short pins to ground. So the PCF8574 is a 8-bit I/O bus expander, so an 8 channel I/O bus expander. So these pins will act as both an input and an output. By default, it has very little pull-up capacity, but it has a very strong pull-down capacity. So these pins, when the output is turned on, will be logic high, but it is very easy to pull them down to ground with a simple wire. When these things pull down to ground, there's enough power or enough current capacity in the pins to actually drive an LED. So we can use it as both an output, driving LEDs, or as an input, looking to see when the pin is dragged down by some other device, such as a switch. So now that we've got that connected, let's have a look at MyRobotLab. So in MyRobotLab, I've already connected my Arduino Nano. In this case, it's connected to COM6 on my computer. It is registered, it's identified the board type as a Nano, and you can see that the SDA and the SCL, which is the I2C bus, are on pins A4 and A5 respectively, which I've connected through. I've also supplied this with 5V from the Arduino Nano board. To run the PCF8574, we'll go to runtime. In here I'm just going to call it PCF, and then in service type is PCF8574. You select that and start the service. You'll see the new service appears over on the left. We select the PCF service, drop down the controller, we'll select the Nano. Now this is on an Arduino Nano, so the bus will always be 0. My unit here is configured for I2C address 0x20 or 20 hex. By changing these jumpers, you can change the address up. So at the moment, the address is set for 20. If I change this bottom jumper here, the one on the left, move it over, that'll change it to 21. So this is a standard binary configuration, so you can select up to 8 different addresses by the combinations you use in these jumpers. So move A0 up, you get a logic 1. Leave it down at the bottom and bring the next one up, that's a logic 2. Move the A0 and A1 up, you get a 3. Bring them both down, move the other one up, that's a 4, and you repeat the process until you get through to 8. Okay, so this is on 0x20. We'll attach, and you can see we've got all of our outputs are set to on, and it's reading 1 on all of our outputs. If I toggle P0, you can see the LED turns on and off, and that's with the blue. If I do P1, we get our green light. And if I toggle P2, we toggle our red light. So that's pretty straightforward. Now this should be reading the PCF every second or so. I'm just going to make this camera a little bit bigger. So if we take our jumper and connect it to P4, after a second, you'll see that the 1 turns to a 0 on what the value is, the 1 hertz. If I remove it, it goes back to 1. And I can do that for any of the pins. You can see here I've got P5 has now gone down to 0. So these are the pins I'm referring to here. So this is pretty straightforward and easy. You can see I've got P7. Now if you're looking at this, you may have worked out there's actually 9 pins on this connector. And that's because the last pin is what we call an interrupt. If any of the states of these pins change and you haven't read the state of the inputs, then it will turn this down to ground. So it's normally high impedance, but it will become a short to ground if any of these pins have changed since your last read. Using that, we could actually have several of these and tie the in back to another one of these PCF8574s and just continually scan the 1, and if there is a change, the pin that's connected, the one that has the in connected to one of these pins will change that pin, and we'll be able to see that one of the others has been changed and know that we need to read it. It can be handy if you've got a lot of stuff on the bus. Right, so going back to the web interface, you can also go to the Python tab. We plug this LED back in. Okay, so we go to Python. And in the Python, just in our script here, if we type PCF dot, question, what is the command? So let's look it up. We go to MyRobotLab, go to menu, documentation, go to service matrix, and here we can scroll through all of the different services until we find the PCF8574. Click on the PCF8574 and we will go to the service page. There are different models of the PCF8574. If you've got the T after the part number, then its address range will be slightly different. 0x38 through 0x3f. One without the T is 0x20 to 0x27. Alright. Some the Java docs will have the link to all of the low-level stuff that we can access through Python. So I've just opened up our Java docs and I'm going in to see all of our methods that we can call. And I'm pretty sure it was set value. No, it's write. So we can write pin and int value. So let's go back to the web GUI and it's write P0, 0, and if we execute that, we turn on our blue light. which is on P0. I change that 0 to a 1 and execute it, we turn it off. So we can actually run all of these through the Python as well. There's our green light, and we can use a combination of lights. So I'm going to change this to E2 and turn on the red, so we get like an orange light. Okay, so if I go back to PCS service, you'll see these are both on now. I can turn them both off here. I turn these on here. You can see because I'm dragging them down to 0, they also show 0 here. That'll do for this video. If you like these videos, don't forget to click on like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. It's a form of support that helps the channel a great deal and costs you absolutely nothing. If you'd like to support the channel further, I do have a Patreon account, and you can join my patrons, VIP Go Lucky, and my two builder patrons, Elmerels45 and White Wolf. I also have a Discord server, and you can join the community in Discord. If you have any questions, both myself and the other members in Discord are quite happy to help. And MyRobotLab also has its Discord. So if you have any questions, there'll be links to both the Discord servers in the description. And we'll see you in the next video.